The Chiefs are 5-5. My team. And do you know what? Today I thought about this long and hard. I was like, and even after the Chiefs Broncos game, I was so pissed off because I was like, nah, like, check my Twitter, Joe and BT. I was like, the Chiefs coaching staff, blah, blah, blah. Like, not excusing Mahomes or anything, but the defense don't make enough like game changing plays. Mahomes wasn't good enough. And then I thought, do you know what? On this solo recording, I am going to proudly wear 15 Patrick Mahomes' jersey, my Kansas City Chiefs jersey, because I'm not going to leave my team. I'm not going to strand them, put them to the side. No, they need my support. Chiefs Kingdom, they need our support. It's tough, can't lie. And it's looking like for the first time in the Mahomes era, we're not going to win the AFC West. However, the playoffs is still in play. Obviously, we've got to go on a fantastic run to finish the season with 7 games remaining, with the Colts up next, who are one of the best teams in the AFC right now. But Chiefs Kingdom, our support is needed for our superb team, the team that have given us so much joy over the last how many years? We've got to support them now. Their time in need, if anything. It's because, do you know what? Let me not go that far because it's not a crisis. We're still at, 500 and there's still games to be played. The NFL every week has been very different in that sense. But it's not time for us to, jump on the team like the rest of the media and stuff like that. Because do you know what? It's natural as fans, especially the way we've been spoiled since Mahomes has come into the league. We expect just natural greatness from him, coaching staff, the team. We just expect a great winning record. Do you know what I mean? Not just a winning record, a great winning record. That might not be the case this season. However, like I stated a few minutes ago, the playoffs is still in play and we have to get there. Because if and when we get there, speaking it into existence, teams aren't going to want to face us. And they can't use the narrative of, the Chiefs, they'll be on the road every single game. We won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We beat the Dolphins at home, freezing temperature weather. We then went to Buffalo, Highmark. We won there. We then went to Baltimore, AFC Championship. We won there. And then we beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So winning on the road in the playoffs is not a problem for this team. As much as they're used to playing at home, playing the AFC Championship game majority of the time at Arrowhead. In fact, 6 of the last 7 years. Yes. And obviously making 5 Super Bowls and winning 3 Super Bowls. Have to remind our haters. But we're in a bit of a pickle. And it's time to address that pickle. Do you know, I'm meant to be doing game by game analysis, but I said I'm going to start off. And I usually don't like starting off with the Chiefs because usually we're winning. But it's not the same. And you know what? Before I delve into the Chiefs, I will go with the Denver Broncos first. It's time the rest of the NFL media, football fans, respect the Denver Broncos. I despise the Denver Broncos, partly because I don't like Sean Payton. However, that defense is absolutely phenomenal. The best defense in the NFL. I mean, the amount of times both teams had 10 penalties. The Broncos gave up way more yards in penalties, but the Chiefs' penalties came at key moments. And again, that's a discipline thing. That's a coaching thing. I've got onto other teams in the last couple of years on that because usually when it comes to crunch time, the Chiefs, they shore that part up. But it's been a big problem, not only this season, last season as well, on key downs where the offensive line are giving up penalties or just offensive penalties. And it's just extending plays, but it's making it very much harder. But again, going back to the game, that is an immense credit to that Broncos defense. I've sang their praises all season. That pass rush, especially just rushing with four guys, Benito, Allen, is it Cooper? And I can't remember the other guy's name. Bloody hell, credit to them. Credit to them. And if they break the NFL sack record, that's all I've got to say. And they won that game as well without their best defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. Well, he's the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain II. Myles Garrett's arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. And they were missing also a linebacker, can't remember his name, but missing J.K. Dobbins, who looks like he's out for the season as well, running the ball. So a lot of people thought, oh yeah, their offense has been arguably whack in most games this season. Bo Nix has taken a lot of criticism, and I think rightfully so, to be honest. But Bo Nix did outplay Patrick Mahomes, which is a weird thing to say, a weird thing to admit, but it's the truth. Nix was very composed in that game, made the big plays when he needed to, the big third down throws when he needed to as well. Very ballsy, and they were connecting, most of them anyway. So again, the whole Broncos team, just fantastic. And they're not fluking their way, because I don't think you can fluke this amount of wins when everyone's locked in, and especially when they're superb on one side of the ball. If it was like, they're just good on this side and mediocre or good on the other side, there could be some questioning. But we've seen them in the clutch, fourth quarter, their offense, and Bo Nix, credit to him. They wake up, he wakes up. But their defense are keeping them in every single game, and they're not tiring out. They're not tiring out. They're making sure the offense has a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. And that's what we're seeing. Can you believe the Broncos? If you said it at the beginning of the season, the Denver Broncos are going to beat both Super Bowl teams from last season. The Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, coming back from 17-3 down in the fourth quarter, and then beat the Chiefs. Forget where the game is. Mahomes before that game, he was 13-1 versus the Broncos. So forget where the game is. But again, like I said a couple of weeks ago, anytime I've looked at the Broncos on the schedule, I've always said, as much as Mahomes beats them down, or the Chiefs, I should say, they cause Mahomes problems. They have in the Chiefs wins the last couple of years, they've been causing Mahomes problems. And again, that continued yesterday. They only sacked him 3 times. However, the pressure, the pressure was immense. And we've seen this season, especially, like, it's not been easy for Patrick Mahomes handling the pressure, which is the case for most quarterbacks, all quarterbacks. Obviously, he's had times in the past where he's overcame that, and the great quarterbacks generally do, or have their spurts or moments. But that defense, super legit, super legit. Pat Surtain's going to be back, I believe, next game or the game after. So when you've got CB1 back, the team's flying high, mile high, that stadium. If they can get home field advantage in the playoffs, because now they've got to go for the 1 seed, then they're obviously not locked up the AFC West, but they're in a position where they should, because we don't know what the Chargers are going to be like. Obviously, they got absolutely beat down by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the Chiefs are 4 games back. So, yeah, it's 4 on the win column, I should say, 4 games back. It's not looking good, like, for me personally, but it's looking great for the Denver Broncos in order for them to actually try and get that 1 seed in the whole AFC, or the second or third seed. See, just make sure they've got at least 1 home playoff game, which is 95% likely at this rate. Now coming back to my team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas, I'm actually concerned. Kansas City, sorry. I'm concerned. Because last season when we were winning those 1-score games, was it 10 we won last season, if I'm not mistaken? And got the NFL record for 17. Now this season we've lost all the one-score games. So we're 0-5 in one-score games, which you wouldn't believe. But again, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The offense is scoring more points than last season, but again, going back to Patrick Mahomes II. You know I love you, my guy. I've been calling you the best athlete in the world, not in the NFL, not in US sports, in the world. That includes our national sport, football, soccer. In the world. I watch cricket as well. In the world. Patrick Mahomes is the best athlete in the world. However, Patrick LeVon Mahomes II. Brother, we need to get back to that MVP level. Because unfortunately, you've got to put the cape on. You have to put the cape on. For those that don't know, the cape is the Superman cape. It's pretty obvious. Pretty self-explanatory, actually, I should say. Because we need you. And the worst thing, Patrick, like, even in your baddish games, you're having good moments, but like, and then obviously in the games that are winning, absolutely fantastic. So like, you're actually playing well, or playing better than you were last season. However, there's been arguably 3 key interceptions this season that have lost us games. The first one wasn't on you, but it's the pick against the Eagles. Obviously, that was Travis Kelce. Kels owned that. By the way, Kelce, that you've been fantastic last couple games. Or you've had fantastic periods. So no one can chat was on Kelce. Again, Eagles aside, that game wasn't your fault. But the Jags game where Mahomes, you were fantastic. But that one key turnover, that pick 6, lost the Chiefs the game. And then yesterday's interception. Obviously, the pressure was real and all that. Arm power didn't look there on that throw, but the Broncos went up the other end and scored it. Obviously, Chiefs countered, scored again, but it was at least 3 points there that was left off the field for the Chiefs at that particular moment, because it was obviously in the red zone. So it could have even been a touchdown. We've got to clean up on that, Patrick. We've got to. Don't get me wrong, like, I do feel you are the most pressurized quarterback in the NFL. Like, top quarterback, I should say, because of the fact the Chiefs haven't got a good run game. Which, Chiefs, coaching staff, obviously, the run game, whatever. I'm tired of talking about that. Guys that have been listening or hearing me, or watching me, sorry, or if you follow me on Twitter, I've been shouting about the Chiefs run game. But Mahomes and the Chiefs are the only top team, or one of the only top teams in the NFL that haven't got a run game. All the other great quarterbacks in the NFL have a run game or have a running back that should be fed to an extent. Like, I can't go through any top team right at the top of my head now and think, oh, who doesn't have a run game? And it's just more or less majority of the time, it's the Chiefs. And again, this is going back to the complacency. I said this last year when the Chiefs were on a winning run. Please, organization, do not take Patrick Mahomes for granted. Just because he pulled things out the magic hat, they won the Super Bowl, won it differently when Tyreek Hill left. Obviously, he still threw 5,000 yards that season, won MVP that year, went back-to-back, won it again. Now, obviously, going for the three-peat, winning in different ways, different fashion. Everyone else is catching up. Everyone else is catching up. If your iron isn't as sharp, as they say, iron sharpens iron. The Chiefs have not been sharpening their iron. They've not. They've been complacent. Like, obviously, not getting Brees Hall on trade deadline day, fair enough. It is what it is, isn't it? You get me? The Chiefs, the Jets wanted a 3rd round. Chiefs only offered 4. I would have done it personally, but it is what it is. But the priority, now flipping to the other side of the ball, should have been a pass rusher. Should have been a pass rusher. And as great as the Chiefs defense, or great on paper, I won't even say on paper, in terms of statistical wise, last couple years or last year, I've been saying, I said it last year as well. The Chiefs do not get to the quarterback enough, or they don't create enough turnovers. They don't create enough turnovers. And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. If the pass rush is not getting to a quarterback and quarterback's got all the time to throw, I've always said the Chiefs secondary is not great. It's good. Defensively, the Chiefs as a unit, defensively, they're good. But there's no wow. Obviously, you've got Chris Jones, but Chris Jones is getting older and he's always getting double teamed a lot of the time and stuff like that. There is no wow factor on defense. There isn't. And I feel like in the back end, in the secondary, they lost that when Legere Sneed left. Obviously, Sneed's going through his own personal issues right now in Tennessee, and Titans fans aren't happy. That's a conversation for another day. But when Sneed was there, McDuffie could, do you know what I mean? The tandem was fantastic because Sneed could, obviously, they could switch in terms of wide receiver ones and all that stuff. But now it's like, again, the Broncos game, it showed, and credit to Nix for taking advantage. When he had time, when he wasn't getting pressured, boom, can find these men. And there's only so much Spags can call on defense. So I hope this video reaches the Chiefs organization, Brett Veach, the general manager, the coaching staff, the game plan, both. It's just getting too vanilla. It's getting too vanilla. The offensive call playing is a cause for concern for me. It is. Not the overall play. I won't go that extreme in it. Like, you're not always going to be on a high every single week, every single year. I'm realistic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm a realistic sports fan. But please, listen to me. Stop taking the greatest athlete alive for granted. Please, 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 please. Because touch wood, he, like, especially in football, in the NFL, anything can happen in terms of an injury changing a trajectory of career, etc. But I've already touched wood. It's not going to happen. I don't want it to happen to any player in general across sports. But do not take Mahomes for granted. Please. Colts are up next. Colts are looking good. Jonathan Taylor, MVP candidate. Don't forget, just because they were on a bye this week, MVP candidate, Jonathan Taylor. But Chiefs, again, like I started off this video, that is nearly 20 minutes, you have my support. Hence why I'm not backing out, loud and proud. My enemies, my haters, come for me. Come for us, the defending AFC champs. Get me. That's my thoughts on that game.